Should you go FSBO? You're listening to Home Sellers Advantage. I'm your host, Aaron Zapata.
And I'm your other host, Todd Anderson. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Realty Group with Real Broker, and we are here to give you the Home Sellers Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv.
Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253.
That's the question we're going to answer today. Should you go for sale by owner? And what does that mean, Todd? What is it for sale by owner?
For sale by owner means that you are going to sell your house on your own without the help of a realtor.
Yeah, so without the help of a realtor.
Yep.
So there are estimated 1.4
You're going to do it yourself.
Yeah, there's an estimated like 1.4 million realtors in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in 2024, like 64% of those didn't even sell a house.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a huge number.
That's a huge number.
It's a huge number of realtors out there that are not working.
Yeah, but that's indicative of our market. Okay, it's really that 90% of the deals are done by 10% of the agents.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be the old 80-20 Pareto rule.
Now it's 90-10.
Now it's 90-10. Yeah. And then even within the 10% bracket where the 90% happen, it's another 90-10.
Yeah.
So even with it's like a double, right?
True,
and so, and not in and out, but it's like a double effect, right? And so Todd and I have been working with a lot of sellers. That is our specialty. We work with sellers, and we sell on average. The last couple of years have been lower, so we're between 40 and 45 a year. And the number one, not the number one question, but a question that comes up often, and this is the topic this week, is because it came up a couple of times actually, is, hey, I want to sell FSBO. What are your thoughts? Mm-hmm. And so we thought we'd just answer publicly.
Yeah, and we'll tell you right off the bat from the very beginning, you can do that.
Absolutely.
It is a possibility. And you know what? I think it's a possibility you should consider. And then you should also consider the reasons why perhaps that's not the best idea to do. Your circumstances might be different, might be unique. But we're going to talk about the ins and outs of selling it for sale by owner, some of the pitfalls that you might encounter. Right off the bat, what are the reasons to do for sale by owner, FSBO?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, Todd, you said,
you're laughing at something over there. Did I say something?
No, it's what I wanted to say. You can go FSBO. You can also extract your own teeth. You can also perform your own surgeries.
That's right.
On your own self. But some of the things are just painful.
Yeah.
And so that's
very true.
So before we get to those things, I thought we should definitely talk about, going on your own. I mean, some of the reasons that we hear is that number one reason actually is, I want to save on the commissions.
Yeah.
That is normally like 90%
that is the number one thing, because why on earth, if it's not to save on the commissions, why on earth would you want to do it all yourself? It's a lot of work. There's a lot of marketing involved. There's a lot of negotiations. There's a lot of know-how on the legalities, paperwork.
Right.
Why would you want to do it on your own when somebody else can do it for you? The only reason, that really the primary reason is to save, or the conceptualized saving on realtor commissions.
Well, and if you do the math, and we use this number a lot, but let's say the property price is $1 million, and you have a 3% commission to the listing side, that's a $30,000 commission check. If you have a $2 million house, that's a $60,000 commission check.
It's a lot of money.
Now, if you have $400,000 in equity, or let's say $300,000 in equity, to do the math, you're going to pay $30,000 to your listing team. That's 10% of your equity. And so I've seen a lot of different programs over the year that really kind of use that as your litmus test. It's like, do you really want to give that much of your equity away to a real estate agent?
Yeah.
And we haven't done this one in a while. Maybe we'll do this in a couple of episodes, but we're going to talk about how commission payments have changed, but nothing has changed. And so the seller still ends up paying realtor fees in the range of 4.5% to 6%. Still. Yeah. And so let's assume it's 6%. And on $1 million house, that's $60,000.
Yeah.
And $60,000 out of a $300,000 equity, that's a lot of money. That's 20% of your equity.
20%, yeah.
And so usually the call starts with that is, you know, we don't want to pay your fees. So FSBO seems like the only option.
Yeah.
So then go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you're strictly looking at it that way, you're always going to pretty much come to that same conclusion.
I would come to that conclusion.
What you have to do is you really have, and we'll get into it, but you really have to look at what your net profit is going to be selling it on your own versus selling it with a realtor. Ignore the commission factor. What is the most important to you is how much money is going to be in your bank account at the end of the transaction.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Right. And I think we can make the strong argument for how a realtor brings you more in the end.
Yeah.
And it's largely not in part because, realtors are special. And in fact, we are trained professionals that help you through the process. Okay. So we help you put a price on it. We help you market it. We help you negotiate. We help you navigate the contracts. We put you in contact with a half dozen to a dozen vendors throughout the transaction. All of these people that are necessary. And your realtor is kind of that quarterback of the whole team.
Yeah.
And they have to draw everybody together at the right time and make all the plays so that you score a touchdown. And I think we can make that argument pretty easily. But some of the things that we haven't really talked about when it comes to for sale by owner is, so let's say you save on the fees. Great. Okay. The kind of buyers that we know call for sale by owners are a couple of different types.
Yeah.
The number one is the buyer who's looking for a deal.
That's probably the primary buyer that you're going to get with FSBOs. Yeah.
Hey, you're for sale by owner.
You're not paying a realtor commission.
That's right.
So we can offer a lower price for your home.
That's right. And so that's kind of like the number one argument for having a realtor, apart from all the other things that we provide. But yeah, that's the number one buyer that comes to you as a first time owner is you're going to get that buyer that says, hey, you're not paying the commission. I know you listed at $1 million, but that's 6%, right? So I'm going to offer you $940, and boom, like that savings evaporates.
Yeah.
Because of the lowball offers. That's the number one kind of buyer. Number two kind of buyer that calls a for sale by owner. And that is the buyer who is less than qualified.
Yeah.
They might have marginal credit. They don't want to go through the process of working with a realtor.
Going through the process of talking to a lender and getting pre-approved.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so the call goes something like this. Hi, I see that you're selling your home. Are you open to seller financing?
Yeah. Seller carryback.
Seller carryback, right? And so
explain to our viewing audience or listening audience what that means.
You're listing $1 million home. You owe nothing on it. Awesome. Now you have the chance. There's other circumstances when you have the chance too, but in this circumstance, it makes it easy. You have the chance to be the bank. So this buyer comes in and says, hey, guess what? I only have 10% down. I've been really saving my money. I've been renting for the last 8 years, and your home is perfect for me and my family, and I want to buy it. I'm going to give you 10%. I'm going to give you $100,000, and then you, the seller, I'm going to ask you to be the bank, and I'm going to make payments to you for the other $900,000. So you figure out, what does that mean? How does that look? And you might say, I'm only comfortable for doing that for 5 years. And so you do some sort of note, some sort of mortgage agreement, some sort of plan where they pay you as the bank, instead of paying the bank, principal and interest over the next number of years. That's usually because they can't qualify for a bank.
Yeah, that's normally the case. Yeah.
So not always the case. There are some very savvy buyers out there that are very good qualified.
Yeah.
But they do this on purpose.
But that's the primary. Yeah. But yeah, there are other circumstances. Yeah. But that's typically what you're going to find.
Yeah. And the third kind of call that you get as a for sale by owner is from realtors. Hey, you're for sale by owner. I'm a realtor. I have a buyer for your property. I'd like to sell it.
Yep. And the realtor is going to negotiate a commission.
A commission, right. Or they'll ask the question, so if I bring you a buyer, would you pay a buyer's agent commission? And so the savings that you may be anticipating automatically get cut in half if you answer yes to that question, because then they're going to bring a buyer and expect a commission.
And they're also going to bring a buyer that's expecting a deal because they know you're not paying a listing agent's fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the savings idea really unravels very quickly. And we don't have the statistics. I encourage you to go Google it and ask, when realtors sell a home versus a for sale by owner, what's the difference in pricing?
Mm-hmm.
And it is significant. It is enough to say hiring a realtor pretty much in most cases pays for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're paying a commission, but like Todd and I said, is you're bringing a lot of value, the realtor is, to the table to assist you.
Yeah, and when you bring a realtor, you are maximizing exposure to your home as well. Mm-hmm. So when you maximize exposure, you maximize your buyer pool, and when you maximize your buyer pool, you get more offers. When you get more offers, you get competition for your home. When you get competition for your home, that drives the price up. And when you drive the price up, guess what? That takes care of the realtor commission, and your net profit at the end of the transaction is, in most cases, going to be much higher than it would be if you sell as for sale by owner.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the other problem, though, with that I see, Todd, and we've seen it before, is that you as the homeowner think you want to price it at $1,050,000 or $1,100,000, and it's really worth $1 million.
Yeah.
And so perhaps you've interviewed 3 or 4 agents, and they've all told you it's $1 million.
Yeah.
And you don't believe them. You think it's 1.1.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go for sale by owner thinking that that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Because no realtor would agree to your price. Now, remember, you're hiring a professional.
Yeah.
Somebody who is paid not to lie to your face. If you have an agent that says it's worth $1 million and you say, I want to sell it for 1.1, and you interview another person, and they're all like, it's $1 million, those agents are doing their job.
Yeah.
They have to adequately and professionally price a home to the best of their ability.
Yeah, and so when you price it like that, it's like casting a line out and hoping a fish will bite. The difference is when you cast, and let's say you hire a realtor and they're like, fine, we'll list it at your price point against our advice. At least you're casting a line out with bait on it, right? You got a realtor.
Right.
But with a FSBO, with for sale by owner, you're casting the line out with just an empty hook.
Yeah. And you're
hoping something bites.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you go for sale by owner, the question that we got this week was, where should I list it? Mm-hmm. There are some brokerages which will be an MLS listing only brokerage. Mm-hmm. I actually can't name any of them off the top of my head. Yeah, like here in Southern California, because I don't know of any. But they charge anywhere from $200 to $500 to put the property in the multiple listing service. And then there is a status that broker has to mark in the MLS that says this is a limited function listing, meaning don't call that broker for help. So don't think that you can say, oh, I'm for sale by owner, but I'm going to go pay this guy $500 and then I'm going to
maximize
lean on him for advice and for everything else. Because we put it, if that happens, the realtor puts it in the MLS as a limited representation. And it's just MLS entry only. And in there it says, call the owner, call the owner, call the owner. You might think that's good. But here's the problem. The moment a realtor sees that in the MLS, you do lose their support.
Yeah.
And we're just being honest with you. You lose their support because they're like, oh, this is a for sale by owner that just put it in the MLS.
Yeah.
And now that agent doesn't know they don't know you. They don't know what they're going to get on the other side of this transaction. And so that could be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I told this agent, the seller, out-of-state seller, I said, hey, if you want to put it somewhere, put it in Zillow.
Put it in Zillow. Just do it yourself.
Yeah,
put it in
Zillow.
Yourself. But realize that when you're putting it in Zillow, you're getting basically the eyes and exposure that are to Zillow.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have buyers calling you up, and you're going back to the beginning of this podcast episode, you're going to be getting those types of calls.
Yeah.
And we haven't even touched the fact that, let's say that you do find a buyer that you say, okay, we're going to work this out now.
Now what?
It's all on you to do everything that a realtor does once you're in escrow, to go through the process. And that's a whole separate ordeal. A realtor, you hire a realtor not just to market the property and get the right buyer, but you also hire them to negotiate for you, to navigate the escrow process. There are a lot of things to think about that go into the escrow process. There are a lot of things that can go wrong in the escrow process. And when you're by yourself, you have nobody to help you. And so that's where a realtor also comes into play.
Yeah, there are some legal requirements that every seller must do. And there are disclosures that a seller must produce for a buyer. And those you cannot get from, I don't know where to get them. We use our forms, of course.
Yeah.
But there are requirements. And so you might end up hiring a realtor anyways, just to help you through that process.
Yeah.
So the other thing too is we have seen some attorneys who are also licensed brokers sell it by themselves. We're not talking about that. Okay. There are a lot of attorneys who are brokers that represent themselves on their deals because they're fully versed in the process of contracts. And essentially you're entering into a legal document when you sell your home to a buyer. And so for sale by owner, should you do it?
And I should mention, in some states, real estate is the real estate transactions are done by attorneys.
Well, the escrow is.
Escrow, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if any of them have attorneys as the realtors only.
Yeah.
But the
whole escrow process,
yeah. And in some of those states, being a first sale by owner is a little easier because you're going to be going to an attorney anyways to look over your paperwork.
Yeah.
And you might be able to, get rid of the middleman there.
Yeah.
So, for sale by owner, and you want to sell to your neighbor or to a buyer.
Yeah.
Let's say you've already found the buyer. You've already found the neighbor who wants to purchase your home, and you guys have agreed to a reasonable price.
Those cases come up, yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, those are great scenarios where you may want to contact a realtor and just say, I've already found the buyer. I need help with the paperwork. What would you charge just to make sure that the legal paperwork is done properly?
Yeah.
And every agent has a different number for that.
And most agents will gladly come on as what we call a transactional broker, that they're coming on basically to manage all the paperwork, the process going through escrow. And so you're going to save on the commission in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a scenario where it may be fantastic for you to say yes to the for sale by owner situation. But in most cases, we have found that a lot of for sale by owners end up listing with a realtor because it's a lot like a false start in a race.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be easy. You think you got the chops for it, and you put it on the market and you realize, whoa, like I'm getting a lot of phone calls. I'm doing a lot of weeding out of all of the stuff, and it's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then you're like, forget it. I'm done. I got to go hire a realtor.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case and you've been through that, we can do some triage there. We can help you in Southern California if you've gone through that.
Absolutely. And I know we're at the tail end of this, but I thought of one more reason why people might want to do a for sale by owner. And that is the fact that you think you can do a better job of marketing than the realtors you've talked to.
Yeah.
If that's the case, you need to find another realtor. We do highly recommend that if you're looking for a realtor, you interview a couple. Interview 2 or 3, ask them their process, how many homes they've sold, how they would go about marketing it. You want to make sure that you are getting what you pay for.
Yeah.
And so
and
it is
pay for what you get.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it is important to make sure you're working with the right realtor. You might find a realtor that says, oh, I'll do it on a deep discount. Well, that's fine. You might save money there, but you might actually not net as much because you might not have the skill set joining you to get that price point that you're hoping for. So interview a realtor and make sure that you have the process in play where you get somebody who actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah. And there's that 64% of realtors who haven't closed a deal in the 12 months. Those guys might discount their commission. We see it a lot.
Yeah.
And you just need to ask. You need to ask 2 questions of anybody that calls you and wanting to solicit your business. Number 1, especially if you're going for sale by owner, is how many buyers do you have right now that have signed a written buyer broker representation agreement in my area in my price point? That's a good question to ask.
Yes.
The second question is, how many homes have you successfully listed and sold in the last 12 months?
Yeah.
Those 2 questions will actually stop most of the conversation from there on out when a realtor is calling you to solicit. So just some helpful tips for you if you're thinking about going for sale by owner. We're not going to go into all the benefits that we're not going to make the argument that you should hire a realtor.
Yeah, watch all our other all of our other content. You'll see why.
Yeah, and just go watch everything else. But until then, if you're thinking about going for sale by owner and you do want an honest opinion about the house value that you're living in, or maybe you inherited a property and you want to talk through some options, we are here to help you out. So guess what we do, Todd?
We sell homes.
Yes, we do. And until the next episode, we ask that you like, subscribe, and share with this person that you know in your neighborhood who's talked about going for sale by owner.
Think of those for sale by owner.
Yeah, and send
people.
them this video.
Say, hey, I have a video for you.
That's right. My dad sends me videos. People send videos. It's like a real popular thing.
Yeah.
So send this video to somebody who's thinking about going for sale by owner, and have them give us a call. And until the next time, God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to the Home Sellers Advantage. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.